don't think I ever went live on Facebook before. This is new. I think you can put me in the video. See that? At the bottom?
Oh yeah, you're live. Yours just popped up.
Sweet.
Now we just wait until we see a couple people in, and then we'll be able to.
I had that in a good spot.
Yeah. And then we're going to be watching this throughout the day, so.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
We got one over there. Just give them a couple seconds to roll in.
Absolutely. Ready to answer your questions.
That's right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Alright. Welcome everyone to another edition of Coffee with the Trainer. I'm Mike, the owner of Formal Fitness Training. We are joined here today with Eli Benner. I've known Eli for about 2 years now over at Retro Fitness. Eli's a good guy, he's a good trainer, a friend of mine. We're actually here on location at Shaler Brewing Company. This is the first time we're doing the Coffee with the Trainer live. We're drinking some cold brew coffee. I can't say enough good things about this place. You guys gotta come in and check this out. You come in, the bartenders know your name, they make great beer, good food. They have healthy options, they have not so healthy options, but they have everything in between, perfect for you guys. Beer, liquor, wine, everything in between. They have something for everybody.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to let Eli talk a little bit about himself and what he does and where you can find him.
Absolutely. So guys, I'm one of the managers at Retro Fitness Kenhorst. I've been a trainer since I was about 20 years old. Kind of had my own success story with transformation. Was overweight freshman year, pretty much high school into college. Found a little bit more out about exercise, eating right, kind of made the change, just started eating more consistently, exercising regularly. The thing that I'll say is that you can do it, it's just all about consistency, it's all about balance. Over at Retro Fitness now, I've been there since it opened in 2016. It's actually the old Sears building if you're not familiar with it. Great location, great members, great staff. Everyone's friendly, everyone's there to help you out. Pretty much everything that you'd be looking for in a gym, and every kind try to cater to everybody as well.
Very nice. So for those of you that this is the first time, what happens on this podcast / Facebook Live is you can add your questions and we will see them pop up. We have some questions that have already been asked of us that we're going to go through. I'll ask the questions of Eli since he's the guest, and then I will offer in my 2 cents. We do this every 3 to 4 weeks, and this will be the 7th month we're doing it, and it's been going really well. We thank you guys for the support, and thank you for joining us, and we'll dive right into the questions. All right, so the thing many of you listening, watching would not necessarily know about Eli and I is we were not born and we were not naturally gifted fit our entire life. We went from being overweight to looking like we do now. And I mean, it's been a struggle along the way. It's not the easiest thing in the world when you're not genetically gifted.
Right.
Not many people are, actually, but you know, one of the things about us is we both lost significant amounts of weight. So basically, I'll throw it over to Eli first. Just talk a little bit about your personal transformation and what advice you would give to the listeners.
Right, so like I said when we first started, what I found that worked the best for me is I actually changed up my diet completely. Not saying that you have to do it, but I did. I found success with it. Actually, I'm a pescatarian. I stopped eating red meats. I stopped eating fatty meats. I added in fish, more fish, a higher protein. I added in eggs and like peanut butters, natural fats, more vegetables, more products that are good for you, more plant-based products. I've seen great results with that. I've pretty much been doing that throughout my entire transformation. I started up around 270. Now I'm down to around, I'd say about 215, but during that time it's been losing the weight, gaining muscle, replacing body fat with skeletal muscle mass. I mean, it can be done. This is a time of year where a lot of people don't think it can be done, but I can guarantee you that it can be done. I mean, I did it. I had great success with it, and I continue to go through that transformation. I mean, there's never any goal that I reach where I don't make another goal right after it. It's always something that I want to work on. I want to strive to be better.
Yeah, absolutely. I personally went from 250 to about 180 in my initial transformation. Now I sit around 210. 180 I realized I was a little too skinny, wanted to get a little bit more bulk, so I put on some muscle from there. But yeah, same thing for me is switching out some of the refined processed sugars. Sodas was a big thing for me. Soda, tasty cakes, candy, all that stuff that I ate that I no longer really gravitate towards. Swapping in some more fruits and vegetables and lean meats, and as you said, fish is a great way to go. So what was some motivation that you would offer people? How do you stay motivated knowing that if you slack for 3-4 months, you could start tipping the scale in the wrong direction again?
And that's one thing that I always think about. It's like, wow, like you step on the scale, you see it, and it's like, oh, 2 pounds up. But where does that 2 pounds come from? One motivational tool that I always use is we actually offer the in-body assessment at Retro Fitness, and that's not just taking weight into account, it's taking everything into account. So we'll do your body fat, we'll do skeletal muscle mass, which is huge, your basal metabolic rate, so how many calories you're burning on a daily basis doing nothing, and then we factor all that in, and that 2 pound gain on the scale might actually be muscle, and you don't even realize it, but so many people get just so discouraged when they step on the scale and they're like, up 2 pounds, I've been going to the gym for a month, I'm going to give up. And that's it. And that's the end of their fitness journey. No, that's wrong. That's so wrong. And I want to say that straightforward with you guys. The success will come. It's all about being patient and having those goals and crushing those goals every single day. But that's one thing. The in-body is a great way to kind of measure your success, not just stepping on the scale, seeing a number you don't like and giving up, seeing the muscle gain, seeing the water in the body, the skeletal muscle mass gain, everything all at once. So that's one motivational tool that I found is not just looking at that one number on the scale, but looking at everything else factored into it. It's one thing I really, really stress with people because 1 pound can be so much and they don't realize it.
Yeah, and you also got to keep in mind with motivation, when you have a bad day or two, and say you drink a little less water than normal, you drink a little more alcohol, you intake a little more sodium, sugar, just glycogen, bread, pasta, wheat, anything like that, you may step on a scale the next morning and see 3 or 4 pounds, but that does not necessarily mean that you gain body fat. And that's why something like the in-body is a great thing. I would say, I've been talking to a lot of people about this recently, but other than hydrostatic weighing and bod pod, the in-body is probably the closest thing you're going to get to a very accurate assessment, because the ones you hold with your hands, they only do from your diaphragm up. The ones you stand on only go from your diaphragm down. So this one hits the entire scope of your body. So just keep that in mind when you're losing a little motivation because you gain a little weight over the holidays, or you had 1 bad day or 2 bad days. Just know that that's not body fat. It normally takes, it does take 3,500 calories for you to build a pound of fat. So if you overeat by, a couple hundred calories, obviously that's not a whole pound of fat. So what about music, meditation, anything like that you do to stay motivated?
My music is everything. I always joke around with some of my clients and some of the people that take my classes, and I'll be like, hey guys, I want you to stay motivated. I pay $14.99 a month for iHeartRadio, so I want you to know that I care about your music too. So that's one thing. I always have new stuff on my playlist. Try and change it up. One thing I've always found success with is I do like EDM music. I'll listen to a little bit of everything though, but really I like to get into my workout just with EDM. It really gets you in the zone. Other thing I've found success with my workouts, just getting motivated, is harder rock. Not a huge rap guy. More towards the hard rock and EDM stuff. Just stuff that you can really get into, especially with your workouts, something that has like a little bit more meaning behind it when you're listening to it while you work out, and it's just, it gets to you, and like it gets you motivated to work out. It makes you want to be motivated and get better.
Yeah, it's interesting when you start breaking down like the beats per minute within the music itself. So the EDM is going to be great when you're doing high intense intervals, cardio, things along those lines. Heavy metal, rock and roll are really going to get the juices flowing when you're doing some weight training and things like that. I mean, I really like bands like Attila and Emure, Rob Bailey and the Hustle Standard. I mean, shout out, brand new album today. It's awesome. 5 tracks, awesome. I mean, I was working out to that this morning. Did some arms, did a little bit of legs. Good stuff all around. But you got to find the music that really speaks to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what's going to drive you to get to the gym. And keep focused in the long run, because it really is going to take you a long period of time to see the results you're looking for. It's not something that comes overnight, which leads me right into our next question. This originally was going to be kind of a New Year's resolution type of thing, but now we're a little bit further in the month, so now we're going to bring the question up to Eli and myself, which I was asked a few days ago actually at the gym. It's, how do you stay true to your New Year's resolutions and set realistic goals when there just seems to be so many reasons to skip the gym?
That's one thing that I personally feel passionately about. One thing I've talked to a couple of people that, you know, come into the gym or people outside of the gym, and one of the things that I hear every single year is, can't wait for the New Year, New Me crowd to come in. I hear it every year. And guys, I want to tell you something right now. It doesn't matter to me what gym you're going to, where your level of fitness is at. If someone is coming into the gym for the first time, I want to challenge you. I want you to go out of your way and show them something that you've seen success with, like a machine or a lift or cardio equipment, anything. Because that's their first time in the gym, and they feel exactly like you did when you first came into the gym. I mean, everyone remembers the first time they came into the gym.
Yep.
They were scared, they were not motivated, and they wanted to be motivated, and they had to find that motivation. So don't look at it as, oh, the New Year, New Me crowd's coming in. Look at it as, wow, I can help them as much as I've helped myself. And it's just a way to give back to somebody else that's struggling with their fitness goals. But going back to your original question, I just wanted to
I love that. Goosebumps. Yeah, seriously.
But going back to the original question, staying motivated throughout the new year. I mean, guys, we're getting to the end of January, halfway through January. I really hope everyone stuck with their New Year's resolutions at this point in time. The best thing I could tell you, and I can't say it enough, is I've seen it happen so many times. Personal training is amazing, and I can't say enough about it. I mean, I went on vacation for around 10 days, and I've had a couple of clients come up to me and tell me, when you were gone, we didn't come to the gym at all. And I said, guys, no one can believe in you as much as I do. I believe in you guys so much. So I can't believe in you more than you believe in yourself. So that's one thing that I'll say is, it's staying motivated in not a motivational time. Staying motivated in not a motivational time. So how do you do that? Reach out. Even if you've never had a conversation with a personal trainer, you can see them at your gym. You can walk up to them and talk to them. They're not scary. They're completely approachable. They will answer any questions that you have. And they will help you stay motivated during this time that is not motivational at all. And that's how you can crush your New Year's resolutions.
That's huge. I mean, I said it, but, you know, I got goosebumps when he said that, because I feel that way too. And the fact of the matter is, 95% of the trainers out there are in this industry to help people. They wouldn't be in the industry for any other reason, because it's not an easy industry. You don't become a personal trainer and all of a sudden have a full book. That doesn't happen. You need to work at it, and you need to actually show that you care about people and see them getting results, and show the rest of the world that you have people getting results.
Absolutely.
And like Eli said, we're very approachable people for the most part, and you know, just do a little research. Make sure you're talking to a trainer that's, you know, educated and knows what's going on. Look to a little bit of experience, but I mean, that's not to say there's not some great people out there that aren't trainers that might be able to give you a good, you know, kick in the butt as well. Like Eli said, the challenge to you, if you're listening and you're somebody that's in shape and you're not a trainer necessarily, is just help somebody out. You know, you can tell pretty quick who's new in the gym. Deer in headlights. I mean, we were there. It was all of us at the same time. I had the benefit of playing a lot of sports, so it became kind of integrated into my immune system, so to speak, that I learned how to, you know, work out from a pretty early age. But, you know, working out is not natural. Lifting weights is definitely not natural. It's not something that you wake up and say, hey, guess what? I know how to squat perfectly. That's never going to happen. It's technique over time applied.
And you're never going to leave a workout and saying, wow, I feel really comfortable with that. You shouldn't feel comfortable after a workout. That's something else that, if you're feeling sore, if you just started working out and you're feeling sore, that's awesome. Congratulations. Because it's not going to feel like that forever. And it is really a euphoric feeling. You crave that soreness. So enjoy it while you can.
So let's get nerdy for a second. So 2 things. EPOC, exercise post-oxygen consumption. Number 1. DOMS, delayed onset of muscle soreness. Alright, so DOMS is the soreness you feel after you're done working out. Eli, what are some ways you can minimize your DOMS post-workout?
One of the best ways to minimize your delayed onset muscle soreness is, believe it or not, you're not going to believe me, is working through the muscle soreness. Ibuprofen, ice, rolling, foam rolling is amazing. You can use, if you don't have a foam roller, that's fine. I'm sure everyone in their house has a tennis ball sitting around somewhere just waiting for you to pick it up. Tennis ball on the inflamed area. I mean, guys, if it's uncomfortable, it's going to be a little uncomfortable. You're not going to tear the muscle fiber. I promise you. Roll over top of the inflamed area. Take the ibuprofen, ice up, work through it, and it will get better. It will get better. It takes time. I promise you, it will get better. But just keep going and don't quit with the workouts just because the soreness starts to kind of kick in.
Yeah, you also have to focus on your intensity when you first start, your volume. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't want to go in there and start doing 36 sets for legs just like a bodybuilder. If it's your first week, hey, maybe 6 sets is all you're going to do.
Take it easy.
That'll minimize the soreness, and then hopefully you don't need the ibuprofen. I mean, that's only if you're really, really inflamed. But, I mean, it does happen in our cases. But the ice and the foam rolling, for sure. I mean, we do those all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, you know, the main thing is gear your program towards where you're at if you're a beginner, intermediate, advanced, and then gradually add your volume. Because the other thing is, if you start off doing 33 sets, you know, where do you go from there? Now you go to 36 sets, 37 sets, now you're spending the entire day in the gym. Leave that to us. We're the ones that spend the whole day.
And now you're overtrained.
Exactly. So the other thing is, you know, your hydration, your pre and post-workout nutrition, making sure you're getting a good carbohydrate and a protein source pre-workout and within 45 minutes to 60 minutes after your workout. Just make sure you focus on that overall goal of 1 gram per pound ideal body weight protein per day. So then EPOC, exercise post-oxygen consumption. So basically what that means is the calories you're burning at rest because of the fact that you're sore, basically. Because when you're sore, your muscles are repairing themselves, so your post-oxygen consumption is a little bit higher. So you can burn more calories at rest following the 48 hours after you're done lifting weights. When you're doing cardio, that does not have as significant of a play.
You need to do the resistance training.
Exactly. So you do cardio, you burn 300 calories. It's pretty much all you burn. You might burn a little bit a couple hours afterwards. But weight training, you're burning more calories for the next 48 hours. So 2-3 days a week for a beginner of lifting weights is going to be ideal, combined with some high-intensity interval training, which will increase your EPOC. If you want to know more about EPOC, we can totally nerd out on that. But ask one of us, and we'll get a little bit deeper into that for you. All right. So Eli is a really strong guy. He's, you know, right up there with Stefano Sarge. You know, we'll throw him in there. We'll throw Vance.
Shout out.
Vance, what's his last name? Lofbrock. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong.
Shout out.
Some really, really strong guys. But so the question I've been getting a lot early on this year is, you know, some younger guys. They want to know, how do I get stronger without getting hurt?
It's such a like a loaded question too, because how do I get strong? I've had so many people ask me that. How do I get strong? And I've seen multiple different programs work in different ways, and it honestly depends on the person. Like, if you're coming up to me and you're 160 pounds, maybe let's say 20 years old, and you're 6'2", and you say, how do I get strong? Well, I'm going to recommend doing a program that kind of uses all of the major lifts, and then also uses some supporting lifts as well on those particular days. Working your chest and your tris, your back and your bis, your legs on a day, your shoulders on a day, and then resetting the program. Working in cardio, as still, even though you're getting stronger, you still need to do cardio. Doing your stretching and making sure you're foam rolling, making sure those muscle fibers are getting stronger. So one thing I will say is big preach on this is I've always done a pyramid program style, where starting at your top for your percentage, like 60%. So you find out I never go 1 rep max either.
Nope,
I was
me
gonna
neither.
say.
I don't go below 5
So
usually.
if someone's ever telling you got to find out what your 1 rep max is, tell them that they have to be the strongest spotter in the world, or something. I don't believe in 1 rep maxes. I never have. I never will. So one thing I'll say is it has to be at least, I would say, 3 to 5 reps. I think we can both agree on that. Be anywhere from 3 to 5 reps. You do that weight. So let's say you're doing a bench press. You do 5 reps of 185. Awesome. So then you're finding the percentages based off of that 185. So 60%, 75%, 80%, and you're working up that pyramid until you get to that peak weight. Okay? Now that means when I get to the peak weight, I'm done, right? Absolutely not. That's when you're gonna, I'd go back down the pyramid just for hypertrophy. And then what I end up doing is I do all the supporting lifts as well. So I've seen great success with that. I've seen some success with the 5 sets of 5 program. I've seen success with, even volume training. I've seen people get strong through volume training. I mean, it depends on what your definition of strong really is. If you're trying to go into the gym and bench press 400 pounds or squat 600 pounds, like, awesome. But let's be, once again, like Mike said earlier, let's make some realistic goals. So let's make some realistic goals to start, and then we can help you out. That's what's so awesome about personal trainers, is it is their job to help you be better. They're not just there to work out or watch people work out and judge them. They're there to help you. They're there to answer your questions, whatever they may be. We can answer it.
Yeah, and I mean, something to just do a quick Google search on, but it's SMART goals. It's an acronym, SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. So you should be setting goals that fit those 5 criteria. There's also something with old school bodybuilding, which I'm a lot into the old school bodybuilding. I mean, there's a lot of newfangled stuff out there. A lot of people are doing Bozy Ball stuff, TRX things, CrossFit, things along those lines. But I go back to like the old standby with bodybuilding, the old school bodybuilding, because I grew up going to Body Works over there in Temple, which is, a lot of old school bodybuilders. Well, at least it used to be. Haven't been there in about 10 years. But the pure act of, if you're doing 3 sets of 10 as your average, week 1, you do 185 pounds on the bench. Week 2, shoot for 190.
Yeah.
Add 2.5 pounds to each side. Every week, go up.
Always
5 to 10 pounds. You're always progressing. Have a notepad. Write it down, especially if you're a beginner. Because the only way you know if you're progressing is if you're tracking something. You have to track something. SMART goals, track what you're doing. You will get stronger. Touching on nutrition quickly, make sure you have enough protein. Because without enough protein, you cannot build muscle. Secondarily, if you are on a low carbohydrate diet, there's many studies suggesting that you may be able to build muscle. In my experience, if your glycogen levels are not high enough, you're not going to have the strength to push the weight in the gym. So at least make sure you're getting carbohydrates for breakfast, pre and post workout. The rest of the day, it's up for debate based upon if you're fat loss, muscle building, or strength phase.
Right.
So that's stronger.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of what you can do to go forward. And the other thing is, If you're bench pressing, your shoulders, your triceps, your chest, your lower back, even your legs are going to be involved in that movement. So the stronger your entire body is, the stronger your bench press is going to be. Don't forget about the small muscle groups. Don't forget about your grip. Don't forget about your traps. Don't forget about your calves. Everything is going to be there. You are only as strong as your weakest link.
Yep, absolutely.
Threw a cliche on you right there. All right, so again, I'm starting to smell the malts in here. Josh is over there brewing something right now. They have a mint double imperial stout that they just put out. So we're gonna be trying one of those after we go off the air here. But we did want to talk a little bit about drinking, partying, and how you can actually stay in shape and do that. I mean, here's a fun fact. I know a lot of people from a lot of gyms, and here's the thing. It's either one or the other. Most people that are in really good shape, they either don't drink at all, or they drink a fair amount. And I see a lot of people at Shaler, I see a lot of people at Chatty Monks from the gym.
Absolutely.
And they manage to stay in great shape during it. So, will a few drinks derail my progress in the gym?
Will a few drinks derail your progress? No. Is drinking detrimental to working out? It is. I mean, to be honest, it is. If you're drinking on a daily basis and if you're not feeling 100% at the gym, that's because it will lead to dehydration and it will also drain your energy levels. That being said, is it okay to have a drink every now and then? Absolutely. It's the same thing. I mean, everything's okay in moderation, I promise you. So, if you go out on a Saturday night and you have, let's say, 2 or 3 beers and you go into the gym on the Sunday morning and you don't feel 100%, like let's say you go for a PR on a Sunday morning. Oh, I'm gonna do five reps of so your max weight. So let's say you're going for a max weight on your bench press on a Sunday morning after having 4 beers the night before, and you're not feeling 100%. It's because you're dehydrated. It's because your energy level has been drained. So it's not a terrible thing to have the drinks, just not every day. Just not every night, I would say. I mean, what do you think on that?
Yeah, I mean, there's some other things you can look at. There is, Danielle had said this on previous podcasts, but the biggest thing is make sure you have a glass of water for every drink you're having. So you stay a little more hydrated. That's going to minimize your hangover effect. The other thing for me personally is Saturday morning is normally not a heavy lifting day for me. I'll go in and do some cardio, go walk the dog with Meredith, things along those lines. But Friday night's normally the night where, I'll have 3 or 4 drinks. If I'm going to have, one night where I really go for it, it's going to be a Friday night. I'm not expecting a really good return on my, workout on Saturday morning. So on the days you're doing a heavy, hard, labor-intensive workout, those will probably be the days that you don't want to drink. But if you're following an appropriate program, you're going to have 2 off days every week where you're not going to be lifting, right? So the night before or that day will be the day where, it's more okay.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. I agree with that. And the other thing I'll say on that is that, it's okay to treat yourself. It really is, especially if you go through the week, all week, like Monday through Friday, you work out every single day. Friday night rolls around and you want to have a beer or two or a whiskey or a gin and tonic, whatever your drink of choice is, it is okay. But that being just like Mike said, going back to what Mike said, if you have a PR the next day or you're planning to have a pretty intense workout the next day, whatever, then don't expect to have the same results that you're used to, because that night before, you have the alcohol in your system still. I like beer.
Me too.
I like gin and tonics. I like whiskey sours. I like pretty much anything under the sun. But that being said, I know that if I'm having that alcoholic beverage on like a Friday or Saturday night, I'm matching it with my water. I actually do branch chain too, believe it or not, just to make sure the hydration and electrolytes are there too. But that's one thing I can't stress enough is it's okay. If you work hard all week, it's okay to have that drink. Same thing with cheat meals. Think about it as like your cheat meal. Wow, I worked hard all week, now it's my time to have that cheat meal. That's fine. It's okay if you worked hard enough for it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of directions you can go with that, with budgeting your calories, budgeting your macros. So you talk about cheat meals, you talk about beer, things like that. So if 1,800 calories a day gets you losing a pound every week, let's say. If you know you're going to have a blowout coming, maybe do 1,500 for the 5 days leading up to it, and then you'll have 1,500 extra calories to spend.
You save those macros.
Look at your energy balance like a spreadsheet for your budget. It's very, very similar when you put the two side by side. So in the bodybuilding world, now I'm kind of changing subjects real quick here, but in the bodybuilding world, a lot of them stick to clear liquor. They stick to tequila, vodka, even clear whiskey, gin. Because the caloric intake is only 60 calories per ounce, which is about 3/4 of a shot.
Not even a full one.
It's not even a full one, but it's only 60 calories. But science really goes back and forth whether, hard alcohol is going to be good for your health versus not good for your health. But here's what I know. When you're looking at light beers and things like that, there's a lot of things added to them to keep them so low calorie. Things that you're not necessarily wanting in your body, preservatives, artificial sweeteners, things along those lines. So I have always gravitated towards craft beer because, if you have a 5% craft beer, basically you can take that number times 30. So it would be about 150 calories for a 5% beer. So a 10% beer or an 11% beer, like a Mad Elf, is going to be 330 calories. Shout out. So you have to budget that into your caloric intake, but I really do believe from a health standpoint, honestly, that craft beer is where it's at. If you're going to have one or two drinks, stick to the craft beer because they're high quality ingredients, the malts, the barley, the hops, they're coming from good sources. And, places like Shaler, that's where you're going to get some good things along those lines. I've always really believed in that. Now, if you're going and you're doing a cutting phase or something along those lines, you may want to, switch to something less calorie dense for a while to keep your progress going, or you may want to avoid alcohol entirely for 30 days or so. But, that's going to be a personal choice based upon where you're at. But I'm just saying from a trainer stamp of approval, I would say craft beer is your best bet. Would you agree with that?
Craft beer, clear liquor. It's whatever you like, but also those are the best bets for you.
Yeah, and actually I think people do more damage on what they eat while they're consuming
and the mixers
alcohol.
too, yeah.
Yeah, and mixers. So if you have 2 craft beers, say at 600 calories, and you eat, a salad with grilled chicken on it, you did well. But if you went home and you
Nobody does that.
Yeah, but if you go home and you order Domino's or you eat an entire 3 pizzas on top of it, obviously the food did more damage than the beer. So that's something to consider.
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely. Yeah, and the mixers are also an issue of then you're talking about more sugar, more calories. It's not something that you can afford, but it's not something that you're thinking about while you're drinking. It's like those are just empty calories too. They're not going anywhere. I mean, they're not helping you with your progress at the gym. It's not going to keep you motivated if you're mixing your rum with like a 3/4 cup of Coke. Like, it's not going to help you out.
Yeah, 50 grams of sugar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that just wanted to get our thoughts on that a little bit. So Eli, give the listeners some motivation, give them some inspiration, and tell them again where they can find you and anything else you'd like them to know.
Absolutely. So guys, I'm at Retro Fitness. I'm one of the managers there, personal trainer there as well. I'm pretty much there every day of the week. Pretty much like 8 to 10 hours every day. So if you have any questions, talk to me. Any of the trainers there can answer any of your questions. If for whatever reason any of us aren't there, ask the front desk staff. They can always set up an appointment with us as well. We're very approachable, or we can answer any of your questions. We're always there to help you. Motivation for you. All right, this is the motivation for you. So we're January 18th now, right? January 18th. So 18 days into the new year, okay? So it's a new year, but not a new you. Same you. It's the same you. But if you want to be a little bit better, if you want to be a little bit stronger, then go out there. Find a gym. Retro Fitness is an awesome gym. I'm just saying. Talk to one of the personal trainers. Talk to them. Talk to one of the front desk staff. They are there to help you. Ask about membership options. Ask about, hey, what's small group training? Hey, what's group exercise? Hey, what's this boot camp style class all about? Hey, what's spin? Ask them questions. Because the last thing you want to do is go into a gym and not ask the important questions. So it's a new year. It's the same you. But it's time to get better, faster, stronger. It's time to be healthier. There's never a better time to do it than right now.
Absolutely. And I'm Mike Hartman. Again, for those of you who don't know me, owner of Formal Fitness Training. You can find me doing my Freeze Your Fat Off on Tuesday nights at Retro Fitness. And I'm also can be found at Y Missing Fitness and the Mifflin YMCA. So I'm a little bit all over the place. I'm an independent trainer. Started Formal Fitness Training 8 years ago. This is what I do. This is my passion. So if you ever need anything, feel free to reach out to me. Again, thank you for tuning in. We are here at Shaler. I'd like to thank Lucan, Josh, and Joey for allowing us to be here along with the rest of the team here. Come check them out sometime. Tell them that we sent you. And thanks for tuning in to Coffee with a Trainer 7.0.
Thanks, guys.